it's Miss Sarika and I'm bringing you another video. In this video we are discussing scale factor in a word problem from the packet. If you guys don't know what scale factor is, that's okay. We were actually going to learn scale factor this week in school, but we're not in class. So let's learn a little scale factor right now. So I'm going to read the word problem and we're going to break this down step by step. You and your best friend are planning a trip to Orlando, Florida to go to a concert. You take out a map and the scale of the map says that 1 inch is 30 miles. When you measure the distance from Tampa to Orlando using a ruler, the distance is 3 inches on the map. So let's break this down because I don't think a lot of you guys have ever seen a physical copy of a map, but there are physical copies of maps that were used to help you travel. And the map was like a smaller replica of the actual distance, because of course you couldn't have a map the entire size of the distance because it wouldn't fit in the car. But so it would be a relationship. It would be proportional. So in this case, our proportion is that 1 inch is the same thing as 30 miles. So 1 inch equals 30 miles on the map. So we can use this proportion to solve for how many miles it's between Orlando and Tampa. And just a little background knowledge, I know we are from Chicago, but Orlando and Tampa are two cities in Florida where wouldn't it be nice to be right now? So if 1 inch is the same thing as 30 miles, could I find out how many 3 inches are? Absolutely. I can set up a proportion. And you guys know how to set up proportions from what Mr. Rivera taught you last year. So if 1 inch is 30 miles, 3 inches is X miles. So there are actually two ways to solve for the X number of miles. We could cross multiply and divide, aka butterfly, or do you notice we go from 1 inch to 3 inch, which means we're multiplying by 3. And if we multiply the numerator by 3, we need to multiply the denominator by 3. And so 1 times 3 is 3 inches. So 30 miles times 3 is 90 miles. So how far is the distance? It is 90 miles. And just let's check with our cross multiplication because I know you guys love it. So I'm going to rewrite it. 1 inch, 30 miles equal to 3 inches, X miles. Cross multiply and divide. Draw my butterfly. 1 times X is X. 30 times 3 is 90 miles. But since we are focusing on scale factor, I am going to stress doing it this way, but I understand cross multiplying just to be sure our answer is correct. So we have our answer to A. The distance is 90 miles. So it's going to take 90 miles to get from Orlando to Tampa. If the car you are using has a gas mileage rate of 18 miles per gallon, how many gallons of gas will you need to get from Tampa to Orlando? That's really bad gas mileage. You should get a different car. Not good for the environment. Just kidding, that's not important. But so 80 miles, I'm going to write this 80 miles, 1 gallon. So 1 gallon is 18 miles is 18 miles, 1 gallon. 90 miles total. So then it's 90 miles is X gallons. Again, we can use scale factor, which 18 times what equals 90? 18 times, I'm sure you guys are screaming it because you all know your multiples. 18 times 5. So 18 times 5, and if I multiply the numerator by 5, I need to multiply the denominator by 5. So 18 times 5, just showing you. 8 times 5 is 40, and then 15, 90, right? So then 1 times 5 is 5, so it is 5 gallons. So in this case, my scale factor is 5. And in part A, my scale factor was 3. So that's all we're talking about when we're talking about scale factor. So you only need 5 gallons of gas to get from Tampa to Orlando, because apparently we live in Tampa. How many gallons will you need to go from Tampa to the concert and then back home to Tampa? Well, if it takes 90 miles to get from Tampa to Orlando, 90 miles from Tampa to Orlando, and then you are coming home because you're not living in Orlando, you're just going to a concert, then it's from Orlando to Tampa is 90 miles. Is 90 miles, which brings us to a total of 180 miles. And so we could set up another proportion. It would be 18 miles over 1 gallon equals 180 miles over X gallons. And then in this case, our scale factor is 10. To get from 18 to 180 miles, it's a scale factor of 10. And if we multiply 10 on the numerator, I have to multiply 10 in the denominator. So it would be 10 gallons. Of course, you also could have recognized that if it takes 5 gallons for 90 miles, it would take twice that for 180 miles. But I am trying to introduce the concept of scale factor for you. So part D. Currently the price of gas is $4.30. That sucks. That's way too much money. How much money will it cost to pay for all of the gas? Well, we said it was 10 gallons there and back. There and back. The total amount of gallons is 10 gallons. And if the current price per gallon is $4.30, I would need to find out $4.30, I'm setting up my proportion, over 1 gallon equals X dollars, 10 gallons. Well, to get from 1 gallon to 10 gallons, I go 10. I multiply, I go up by 10. You know, my scale factor is 10, so I have to multiply this by 10. And I get the amount of money for the entire trip is $43. And again, my scale factor is 10. Part E, last question. How much will you have to spend on gas if you and your friends split the cost of the trip? Well, there's 2 people in the car, and it's $43 total for gas. So divide by 2, super duper easy. And I'm sure you're just screaming it's $21.50. That's not too bad to go see a concert. It better be a good one. Okay, so this was our introduction to scale factor. It's not too difficult. You guys, I know, are very comfortable with proportions. And it's just a different way of looking at it. So we're moving away from cross multiplication and dividing and really working on scale factor. I'm going to give another video because I think you guys would really enjoy this. So comment below with any questions, and keep a lookout on your YouTube for me because I'm going to be posting a lot more videos in the coming days because I am your favorite YouTuber. Bye-bye.